Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. So, this is a tutorial of how I set up my Trading Lite. A few people have been asking about it, so here we go. So basically, obviously, set up a Trading Lite account. You would log in. Generally, I think when you log in, this is what you get. I've just created a new template just to create this video. So, for the most part, what we are looking at here is just the blank template. So in the blank template, obviously you have main, heat map, volume, and VPVR as standard. As soon as you load in or log in. So what I'm going to just show in this is the setup as to how I add indicators, so community and the official indicators into Trading Lite, and how I kind of set up heat maps and a few other things, right? So for the most part, I leave all this as is for now. Let me just get all the indicators in. Obviously, I think as well, it's on the 1 hour time frame. First thing to do, flip to the 5 minute, because that's kind of the time frame. 5 and 15s are kind of the better ones to use. Indicators. So the indicators I use, and obviously there's 8 or 9 in here, and obviously there's a few that's loaded by default. So the first one I look for is in official indicators, is VPSV, which is your volume profile, session volume profile, right? Obviously we'll go in down between all the indicators, but now this is just to add everything into the templates, or kind of into your workspace is what they call it. I click TPO. So TPO is the next one. And also as well, the way that I do this, the way like in TradingView, you can move your indicators up and down. With Trading Lite, you can't. So kind of there's an order as to which I do this so that everything is stacked in a particular way. So just remember that when you're doing that. Footprint plus bracket cluster close bracket. So that's the one I use. We've put order book profile. Sorry, I should have done order book profile before, but order book profile we can just add in. And I think the VWAP's in. And then in my favorites as well. So obviously these are already favorited, but what I am going to show in here is just kind of the ones I use. So and the name. So VWAP and standard deviation bands by 4. I use that for my VWAPs. Add to chart. And then I'll go back into official indicators. Oh, volume's already there. Okay, so volume's already there, so I don't need to worry about that. CVD. I did say the other day that I use Crypto Night's CVD, but I actually use the CVD by 4, which should be in my... Oh, I do have Crypto Night's one. Oh, sorry, it's by SMG. So CVD cumulative volume data delta by SMG. Sorry, and then open interest is an official indicator, which should be at the bottom. Well, I just have to look for it. Open interest. So I put CVD above open interest. It's just as is my my settings, and then bar statistics, which is also one of the official indicators. Bar statistics. So that tells you long, shorts, all that type of stuff. Okay, so now I'll just resize these a bit to make it look a little bit better. And yeah, obviously it's still on Coinbase ETH. So now what you have to do is you have to go look for your Bybit, BTC, USD perps. So Bybit derivatives, this one. BTC USD, it flips it over. Okay, now, sorry, I'm just going to flip everything off, turn everything off for the time being, and work our way down to kind of get all the settings set up. But I'll turn them on as I go and set them up as I go, and I'll show you how we do that. Okay, so the first thing, what you can do, if you go into main, you can get your general settings. and your theme settings. So at the bottom here, you have obviously colors. So generally, I like to make this a bit lighter. I obviously have a different colors. I can't actually remember exactly what colors I left it, but I just like making my background on this a little bit lighter, specifically just because of the heat maps. So I do that. You can change your candle colors as well. So generally as well, what I do is I make my candle colors blue and pink. So that's kind of my color format / layout. So I use that. So that's just the theme, the colors in the main settings. And then if you click back into main, you see your candle type. I always go hollow candles. That's the easiest way for me. And then your grid, obviously, if you want your grid lay, I think I have the grid turned off, but generally you can keep your grid on. So that's basically how I set the main part up. That always has to be it always has to be on, otherwise your candles won't be on, right? So heat map now, right? First thing to do with heat map is always turn your HD on. That obviously gives you more in-depth. For Bybit, BTC USD, I look for anything above 1 million, and I take it down to like 2.5 to 3 million. So you will just have to find kind of what works for you, but generally that's kind of what I do. Yeah, so HD will give you all of the heat map data, and obviously it doesn't within the heat map. Obviously I extend my heat map 2 bars, so it will always tell you or show you like a bit over kind of in each candle where the heat maps are. I don't change the transparency. And yeah, so that's the heat map. And it's weird that it's not actually showing that much, but it's probably just because of you can see it's because of the color scheme. But for the most part, Bybit doesn't necessarily tell you the big resting orders, so that's why I also have like a 4-screen template, which obviously will be a second to this kind of setting up the 4-screen. So once you set up this, basically all you do is you just go into here, and then you just go 4-screen. It will have everything from all of these. This template, it just makes 4 versions of it, and then obviously you have the 4 different charts. You have the you have the Binance Perps, the Coinbase spot, and the Binance spot as well. So that's obviously supplementary to finishing this template out fully. So that's the heat map settings. Volume, if you want it on or off, I don't generally always have it on and off. I like it on and off specifically just for the spot charts. But yeah, we can leave that on, and then obviously I think you can go in, you can change the colors. No, it doesn't like it. It's either red or green. Yeah, anyway, and obviously you can change the heights. So VPVR as well, you can have that on. I generally don't all the time. It's more off than anything, but it's there just for kind of if you're zooming out on a larger time frame to get the kind of where the big volume is, kind of, and the gaps, volume gaps. Okay, so VPSV is a bit of a, so obviously 5 ticks. I think it's the standard. I generally change the width. I pull the width back a bit, so obviously the volume profile isn't as wide and kind of covering all my candles. Normally 10 to 20%. Then what I do is I just change my colors basically. I change everything to blue and pink or blue and red, depending where you are, or depending kind of what colors you want. You can just change your colors as well, kind of to match your theme. The point of control, you want to enable the ray, and you want to enable extension. Obviously, you can just change the color to whatever color you want. Value area, 70%, 50%. Draw labels, draw rays. The color rays is obviously, for me, I always have them as blue. And then yeah, that's basically, and then obviously I have it as pink for my POC. Not color labels, but shit, that needs to be yellow or white. So where is my POC now? POC, I'll make pink. So there's a POC, that's everything there set up, okay? TPO, I'm just going to turn stuff off before I turn everything back on. TPO, I don't do splits, I just have it 5 ticks. If you want to have the naked time pointer control, obviously you enable ray and then your naked extension, and then obviously just choose your color. With this one as well, though, you can't necessarily change the width of the TPO profile, like the blocks on the left hand side of the profile. Initial balance then doesn't really work for Bitcoin. It's more for kind of other coins, but if you use initial balance, you can just you can enable the initial balance. You can draw rays and draw the labels. Kind of this is like the first hour's trading kind of range within. I don't normally have them on anyway, but what I do have on is a single prints. So single prints is, and then obviously buying and selling tails. I do extend them so that don't extend them. So that's the setting there. Don't extend. So that's the TPO. You can have the value area on for the TPO as well, but I don't normally do that. I normally just only have the kind of the profile and the POC. We turn that off. So here comes the fun part with the footprint plus cluster. So this is your order flow. This is what you're seeing in your candles, right? Your orders and things. So 5 ticks. I don't have the background on. I don't have the borders on, right? Then obviously delta total. I don't extend the naked points of controls specifically for each candle. Value area I do have on. I don't know if the opacity changes anything, but somehow I found that this with even with the value area on, it doesn't really do much. Well, I'd very rarely see it kind of what the value area is. I don't know why. Enable. So basically now you've got imbalances. Generally your stacked imbalances is kind of where your liquidity is left behind, kind of in the candles dumping, kind of like fair value gaps. I generally don't have it on because it obviously makes it a bit too busy. So I normally turn that off and I just have my imbalance percentage as 400%. So the imbalance basically is when the other side, if you look into, when you look into the candles, imbalance sell, let's just put that as red. And imbalance sell red, and then obviously I have blue. So this is just my settings, but you can copy. I am figuring out how to copy templates, which I've kind of got a brief from a friend of how to do it. My friend Alec, for those that know. So yeah, we are going to have an extra template for you guys to use as well, kind of rather than having to do this, but I'm just manual processing this for you guys and manually showing you. So yeah, that's that. And obviously you look in the candles now, you've got your kind of, you can see imbalance. So 18K on the right hand side is obviously 4 times more. It has to be 4 times more than the other side, the opposite end of the candle, right? So 51 is to 10, like you can see that's more than 4 times, so that's what will flag it's an imbalance. And the 400% is just basically something I've learned from Jason Casper, but plus also as well, I think that is the default in ExoCharts when I was using ExoCharts previously. Okay, order book profile, it just shows you where the limit orders are. So as you can see, obviously you can see it on the heat map. You can see obviously there's orders there on the heat map, but the order book profile will also show you kind of here, kind of like a VPVR where your limits, your bars and sells are. That's also good. And then obviously VWAP, all I do, oh no, the settings not in actually the thing. So VWAP, I generally have 2 of these. So obviously you can put a second instance, but generally your daily VWAP, support resistance, I turn the deviation bands and the coloring off fill. So there, that's your VWAP. And there, so obviously volume as well. I don't normally have it on, but I can switch it on and off. Okay, CVD by SMG or SMC, I think it was. With this CVD, basically, I always have it as candle mode. Oh, sorry. I have a standard, I untick candle mode, so it's always the line. And then what I do is I estimate the taker's position. So if you look here is the, and obviously the length of the CVD is always 21. That's the standard default. This is kind of showing as well what the limit orders are doing based on CVD. So if it's strong red, obviously, you know, shorts are open. So long build up, longs are opening. Short build up, shorts are opening. Short covering means longs are taking profits and opening shorts. Long unwinding, longs are taking profits. Apologies for that little bit of silence. Okay, so this is the CVD. Your open interest is always just candles, stays the same, obviously. Blue or red, depending on your color frame, your color scheme, and then obviously your bar statistics. All you have to do for your bar statistics is I keep bar volume, sell volume. I don't worry about percent, don't write calendar. So that's all I use. Bar volume, sell volume, delta, total volume, and then obviously the long licks, short licks, total licks. But generally, I kind of some as well also take total licks off. But for the time being, that is basically everything I do. How that looks on the chart now with everything all together, I generally don't put the TPO on all the time. So I would have always have the VPSV. So basically, main heat map, VPSV, footprints plus cluster, order book, VWAP, and then obviously CVD openers and bar statistics. And then obviously, if you zoom out a bit, obviously you can see your naked points of control will extend below. When it gets to that day, there should be one below it. Yeah, so there's one like 82, whatever, 600 now from earlier on, previous few days. So yeah, and that's basically how you do it. And then also as well to kind of get your, if with your labels on, you can actually just zoom into the left and just see kind of your POC. So that's kind of that number there would be what I have on my Bitcoin chart for my naked points control. So this is the basic template of so part one of kind of actually setting up Trading Lite, and then I'll do another one where I show you the 4 templates of the 4 things I look at all the time. So obviously I'm looking at spot and perps working together, and from there, that's basically where I kind of form my thesis. So seeing the spell, if Binance is kind of manipulating and Coinbase is buying and selling either way as well, to kind of as we're moving into kind of key levels to see what's happening. And then obviously, so I'm going to do the 4 template as the next one, the 4 screen, how I work that. And then the third video is going to be actually looking at the actual order flow and how to actually use it kind of with trading. So yeah, we'll leave it there. And yeah, keep an eye out for the other 2 videos, which I'll hopefully do within the next week or 2. And we will see kind of how we go from there. But hopefully this at least helps to set up kind of just the basic 1 screen of Trading Lite. Okay, take care.